Start this video with my mahogany bowl blank. It's just a square and I'm finding the center of it, and you just connect the corners obviously. And now I'm drilling a hole for the wormwood screw, and this is the wormwood screw. It's pretty much just a screw that goes into the piece of wood and lets you turn a tenon. I usually turn the outside of the bowl with it, and I turn the mortise for the chuck to go into and hold it onto the lathe while I turn the inside. And here I'm just threading it onto the screw. That should actually be pretty difficult because you wanted a really tight fit. And here I'm flattening out the bottom of the whole bowl so I can just kind of start rounding it out after I flatten the bottom. And I was using a skew chisel for that. Now I'm starting to round it out, and this was originally going to be a square, like with square wings on the bowl, but they started chipping, so I just cut them off and didn't worry about it. And so right now I'm rounding it out with a spindle gouge. And actually now I'm using a bowl gouge and still rounding it. And you can see the square wings I was going for, and I'm making the mortise now, and I'm just trying to find the right size. This is a pretty small bowl, so I'm just finding the minimal size. And for this I'm just using a parting tool and a skew chisel, and the bowl gouge was just to remove some material inside of that mortise. Now that right there is my favorite part of turning bowls, and I'd let you listen to that in regular speed because it's a pretty fun part. And it basically, I'm just using a bowl gouge to hollow out the center of the bowl. And whenever I started turning the inside is when the wings started getting pretty chipped up, so I just decided to turn them off and make it a round bowl. Alright, now it's time to sand, and I'm just pretty much starting out with a really high grit, probably like 80, just to shape it. And then I go down, I go up to maybe 400 grit, and as long as there's no scratches, you should be good. But I like to end it with steel wool. Now, even if you're at a high grit, you can still get scratches, because if there's, like, say, if it's bad sandpaper, a little irregularity in the sandpaper, you can get scratches. Now, if you do get scratches, you just want to take it off the lathe and hand sand it with the grain, and then maybe you can put it back on and use a higher grit. And so I just sanded it till I was happy, and then steel wooled it. And now I'm using Danish oil as a finish, and of course you have to shake it up because it's been sitting on the shelf for a while. And I'm just applying it with the rag. I'm sorry it's kind of shaky right now, but I'll have some pictures of the bowl then.